There was a rumor spreading across the kingdom of Aurelia, one that danced from village to village like a mischievous breeze. Whispers claimed that an entire royal feast had vanished during a rehearsal for the grand winter program. The consensus among the citizens was simple: magic must be involved. Some blamed the programmers who had been hired to design a simulative animation for the celebration, suggesting they had accidentally triggered a system that made real objects disappear. Others insisted that the circus arriving next week had something to do with it. Circus folk were known to perform strange tricks, imitate reality, mimic voices perfectly, or even simulate entire scenes with smoke and mirrors. Princess Elara, however, believed none of these theories. Her palace was filled with craftsmen preparing sculptures, paintings, and aesthetic decorations for the upcoming exhibition, and she refused to let a feast mystery ruin the kingdom's biggest artistic event of the year. But when the concertmaster of the royal orchestra reported that even the rehearsal snacks had disappeared, Elara knew something was terribly wrong. The following morning, Elara visited the royal gallery, where artists were setting up portraits, sketches, and delicate carved sculptures for the exhibition. She hoped to collect clues, to select the truth hidden behind the dramatic rumors. Inside the gallery, she found a strange new sculpture that had not been part of the original program. A stone figure of a clown holding a musical disc, frozen mid-laugh. Its grin was wide, too wide. Its eyes were hollow, and its shadow stretched unnaturally far across the floor. "What role is this supposed to depict?" she asked the curator. "No idea," he whispered. "It was delivered before dawn. No name, no signature, just appeared." Elara leaned closer. The sculpture's texture felt warm, almost alive, as if crafted by a hand that understood not just stone, but rhythm itself. Suddenly, the sculpture's shadow shifted, just slightly, though nothing else moved. It was enough to send chills down her spine. Determined to investigate further, Elara went to the old theater, the place where the feast had disappeared. The stage still smelled faintly of roasted meat and sweet pastries, even though not a single crumb remained. Torches flickered, casting long, dramatic shadows that danced across the empty stage. She stepped onto the creaking wood, imagining the orchestra in full form: violin, cello, trumpet, flute, and harmonica blending in symphony, rhythmical tones rising toward the ceiling like bright ribbons of sound. But the theater was silent now, except, click, a photograph on the floor. She picked it up, a portrait of the same clown sculpture from the gallery, except in the photograph, the clown was smiling at her. Its carved hand pointed at the backstage curtain. Elara swallowed. She had two options: stay safe or pursue the truth. She opted, of course, for truth. She pulled the curtain aside. Behind it was a second stage, a hidden stage, filled with wooden puppets arranged like actors waiting for their cue. Opera masks, comedy masks, tragedy masks. Every puppet was carved with eerie precision. Every puppet faced her. Then, one puppet's head twitched. From the darkness behind the puppets, a man stepped forward, thin, pale, with eyes sharper than a sculptor's tools. "I am the Craftsman of Shadows," he announced with a theatrical bow. "My craft is simple. I draw what should not be drawn, sketch what does not belong, depict what others fear to describe." Elara's voice was steady. "Did you steal the feast?" "I did not steal," he said. "I transformed." He pointed at the puppets. Each puppet began to change shape, wood softening into dough, clay turning into cheese, fabric shimmering into roasted glaze. Before Elara's eyes, the puppets became the feast. "You carved the feast into puppets?" "Improvise, princess," he laughed. "Life is a stage. Everything has a role. Why should food not perform as well?" "But why?" she demanded. He leaned in close. "For the aesthetic, for the art, for the pure musicality of transformation." The tone of his voice sharpened. "And because the kingdom has forgotten true artistry, I brought it back." Elara stepped backward. This man was brilliant, but dangerously unhinged, and his shadows moved on their own. The craftsman snapped his fingers. The shadow of the clown sculpture stretched like ink across the theater floor, rising into a towering, simulative figure. It mimicked the stance of a conductor. With a dramatic sweep of its elongated arm, it summoned shadows from every corner of the theater. Shadows shaped like violins, cellos, trumpets, flutes, forming a dark orchestra. A shadow symphony began. The rhythm was deep and haunting, each tune echoing like a whisper from another world. The stage trembled. The gallery miles away trembled. Even the palace trembled. Elara realized that the craftsman wasn't just playing at drama. He was performing a dangerous ritual, one that blurred the line between art and reality. She raised her voice. "Stop this performance!" He laughed. "This is no performance. This is perfection." The shadow orchestra crescendoed. Elara grabbed a discarded musician's bow from the floor. "Fine," she murmured. "Then I'll conduct too." She struck the floor with the bow. A bright pulse, like a disk of light, shot outward. The shadows recoiled. The craftsman staggered. What magic is this?" "Not magic," Elara said. "Rhythm. Real rhythm. The kind that can't be imitated." And she conducted. Light answered. The shadows began to fall apart. By dawn, the Craftsman of Shadows had vanished, leaving behind nothing but a faint sketch of himself on the theater wall. The feast was restored. The palace returned to its joyful preparations, and Princess Elara curated a brand new exhibition for the winter festival. The Symphony of Shadows, an artistic investigation. Instead of hiding the truth, she displayed the clown sculpture, the carved puppets, the eerie photograph, and even the musician's bow she had used. Not as horrors, but as reminders. Art could be comedy or tragedy. It could be opera or ballet. It could be beautiful or frightening. But above all, it was powerful. Visitors wandered the gallery, admiring the artistic blend of craft, tone, and tune. Some whispered rumors about whether the craftsman truly disappeared. Others claimed the sculpture sometimes moved when no one watched. Elara simply smiled. She had learned something essential. Art was alive, and every stage, every scene, could transform the world, even if only for a moment.